Hello and welcome to this second edition of our odyssey down the beautiful River Thames. Our first episode took us from the source down to Reading. That upper part of the river is essentially rural and in the upper reaches quite isolated. This next section down to the top of the tideway at Teddington Lock is very different as the river threads its way through the densely populated commuter belt to the west of London. There's lots to see and lots to do. We're going to cover 54 miles and 20 locks. From Reading, we initially head northwest towards Henley and Marlow. We turn south through Maidenhead and then almost box the compass through Windsor, Weybridge and Kingston upon Thames. Caversham Bridge is one of two crossings of the Thames connecting Reading to Caversham. This current bridge was built of concrete with granite piers in the 20th century. There are records of earlier bridges here right back to the 12th century. The bridge not only carries the road from Reading to Caversham, but it provides pedestrian access to Piper's Island, which is occupied by a pub and restaurant, and by moorings for an associated boat hire and cruise business. The waterfront has been attractively developed, with many properties having fine views of the river. Within a few hundred yards there's another island called Fry's Island. There are two boatyards including a holiday hire base here, a private house and the intriguingly named Bohemian Club, which is now a bowling club. Each establishment operates its own private ferry service. The island was famously the scene of a duel between Robert de Montfort and the King's standard-bearer Henry of Essex in 1163. Henry was accused of cowardice in battle, and the duel was the 12th century equivalent of a trial. Henry lost and was duly adjudged guilty as charged. Beyond the island is the comparatively recent Reading Bridge, built in concrete also in the 1920s. It's not a bad place to moor for visiting the town near Caversham Lock. Reading Abbey was one of the most important abbeys in medieval England. It's currently closed to the public while the crumbling stonework is made safe. The Forbury here was within the outer area of the abbey and was used as a public market and meeting place. The Victorians laid it out as a municipal gardens. The magnificent lion here is a memorial to the 1880s Afghan War. In the 1820s, Joseph Huntley started making biscuits in the back room of his shop in the centre of the town. 20 years later, he formed a partnership with George Palmer, and together they founded a biscuit empire that by the early part of the 20th century employed 5,000 people on a 5,000-acre site. It closed in the 1970s. In Reading Jail by Reading Town there is a pit of shame, and in it lies a wretched man eaten by teeth of flame. In a burning winding sheet he lies, and his grave has got no name. Oscar Wilde's Ballad of Reading Jail, written while he was incarcerated here at the height of his success as a West End playwright, for the love that dare not speak its name. Homosexuality was then a criminal offence. He got 2 years of hard labour. The modern visitor to Reading may well marvel at the magnificence of the Oracle Centre, with every high street chain for both shopping and for an unforgettable dining experience. You can even hire a personal shopper to help you to divest yourself of all that surplus cash. Every August bank holiday, the town hosts one of Britain's largest music festivals, and everyone gets extremely muddy. Caversham Lock provides a third crossing point of the river between Reading and Caversham. Like all locks on this middle section of the Thames, there's a lock keeper, and the lock is mechanised. You can work the locks yourself when the keepers are off duty. Better Boating includes its own island. If you have a mooring here, you have to summon the boatyard to come and get you when you want to get ashore. And when they're closed, you're completely marooned. Tesco's fronts the river, and the excellent moorings make this an ever popular place to restock the boat. There's quite a colony of black swans here who no doubt do very well out of the constant turnover of moored boats. Horse chestnut trees in the Thames Valley are especially badly affected by disease. There are two problems: horse chestnut leaf miner, which is unsightly but doesn't necessarily kill the tree, and the virulent bleeding canker, from which large numbers of trees die. The River Kennet enters just before the gas holders, which stultify any attempt to improve the appearance of the riverfront. This is also the entrance to the Kennet and Avon Canal.